What's up, Survivor's Journey Nation? This is Faustine, aka Tina, the founder of Survivor's Journey Clothing. Many of you know that I'm the founder of Survivor's Journey Clothing, but don't know the story behind the brand. So that's what I'm here to tell you today. And it comes from a place of pain, but it's a tragedy to triumph story. My brother passed away in 2004 of complications of sickle cell. And he was the father figure. My mom was a single parent. So he was that father figure, big brother that I absolutely loved and adored. And when he passed, I had my way to cope with it. I drew and I wrote. So I actually did a memorial design for him. And my mom actually found the design, because if you know my mom, and if you got a real mom, you ain't got no privacy. So, therefore, she found it and she loved it. And that was about 2 years later. And I was like, all right. So for her, I did it for Creighton's birthday. I did a shirt for him, a memorial shirt. I did on the front of it, I did the memorial design on the back, which you guys know now as God's compass, which I have tattooed on me, on the back. And everybody seemed to love it. They couldn't get enough of the shirt. We just wore it as when mother and daughter outings, bowling alley, which at that time, that was the place to be, through the college town and everywhere else. So I had strangers coming up to me thinking it was a brand wanting that shirt. I told them no, it's just mine, and they wanted the shirt and said charge them whatever. I said no, of course. And after thousands of people coming and asking me for the shirt and saying, well, we understand that you don't want to give your brother's memorial design on the shirt, but we really just want the logo on the back. And I was like, okay, but still no. My mom looked at me and told me, you need to think about it. I was like, but mom, and if my mom tells me to do something, I do it. And I said, so I walked away from it and I said, God, if I'm supposed to be doing this, give me a sign. Well, a couple weeks later, mom was like, you need to clean out that corner. Everybody's got that corner in their house that you've had since middle school that you've been trying not to clean, whether it be papers, old school paperwork, whatever. Well, I had to go clean it. So I'm going through it and I find a 5-star notebook. I'm like, what in the world is this? And it's a 5-star notebook, orange, top right-hand corner, says dreams. And in cursive, and each letter is a different color. And it was like my 11 or 12-year-old handwriting. And I'm like, what in the world was I doing? I don't remember doing this. So I opened it, and my 11-year and 12-year-old self did a business plan for a clothing brand. I don't remember doing it. And you would think 11, 12-year-old, maybe 3 names, 3 logos. That's about it. I'm 11 or 12, you know. That's all you get. Nope. I had 3 names, 3 logos, where I was going to distribute the clothing, who I wanted the clothing to target to, what type of clothing that I wanted, and what stores I wanted it to be in at 12. I said, well, I looked up, I said, all right, Lord, I got you. I closed the notebook and I started what was known as Survival Pride. Did the logo and established it in 2008. And throughout the battle, we grew really quickly, and I was able to get a store. But throughout that, I was still having huge sickle cell crises. And I as well have sickle cell. So my body was trying to kill itself about every year. It was just part of the battle. I didn't even worry about it. We're going to the hospital. I'll about die. People freak out. I keep it pushing. Not a big deal. I already knew I was getting through it because God's got my back. And that was just my rotation. So 2011, I opened Survival Pride store. Loved it. Community loved it. And then I became didn't know. I was just doing me. I was the first African American to have a store. And then I figured out later that I was also the first clothing brand to come out of Western North Carolina. I didn't do any of this. It was just from my heart. I didn't try. I just did this because this is what God put on my heart that I needed to do, and I needed to bring the message of being positive. And it drove me. I didn't know my direction, because after basketball, and playing and track, and not able to because my body decided it tried to kill itself right after high school again. So there was no going playing sports like original plan. But God had other plans for me, and that was, I guess, to do this and to be this advocate. And I didn't like it at first. I didn't want to stand for anything. I just wanted to be me. Not that I didn't want to be seen, but to be seen as the sickle cell warrior that could actually get it done past sickle cell. I didn't like it because I didn't want people to look at me differently. It bothered me. And then I realized that it's not despite sickle cell that I'm here, it's because of sickle cell that I'm here. And the messaging on the brand is what drove me. And I realized as we continued to do the brand that my brand was actually saving lives. I had a young lady tell me that the only reason she didn't commit suicide was because she saw the cross inside of our logo. And then my mom passed in 2014. My mom was my best friend, my everything. And at 8 o'clock, August 17th, everything changed. I continued to run the store for another 2 years by myself, continuously, my body battling itself. When I about died in 2019, I was there laying in the bed, and, I knew I was going to be all right, but little did I know a week had passed, and nothing. But what's funny? The only thing that kept me going was me designing these positive messages. And I didn't know it, but then God spoke to me. He's like, I'm still in the background. I'm not in the forefront of the brand. I said, yes, sir. So I reestablished a brand after 10 years of having it. I reestablished it. I decided I was closing it. I was making the brand evolve to a different. So that's when Survivor's Journey came about. Survivor's Journey clothing came because God told me and brought to my attention in the midst of me dying that he needed to be first. So he is at the core of our brand, and that I needed to live in this moment and live in the fact that I am a sickle cell warrior and that I am everything that I'm supposed to be, not despite sickle cell, but because of sickle cell. And no matter what somebody else may say, we're here and we stand and we live in this moment. And that's what Survivor's Journey means to me.